There's your Chicago welcome. Now, the Chicago River is green because this is a clay-based river and it mixes with the lake water and algae. When dyeing the river green on St. Patrick's Day, we use 40 pounds of vegetable dye. Turns the river a bright Kelly green. The color of the dye happens to be orange and it lasts for about 3 or 4 days. We're going to clear the bridge and find the red brick building. Very common to see back in 1935 when we first started getting tours. Now this is the Reed Murdoch Center, completed by George Nimitz back in 1914. The building it is sheathed in that red brick. At the top you're going to find some terracotta ornamentates the wheat. If you are looking at the building completely, it does look asymmetrical. This was not always the case. You see, they needed to knock out one of the west side bays here to make room for the expansion of the LaSalle Street Bridge. The building, it was originally a warehouse. It's now home to 2 restaurants, condominium office space, Whirlpool, and Encyclopedia Britannica. But if there are any engineers on board, then you're not going to find any right angles in the 2 buildings here. When you walk into your apartment here, it is extremely narrow. Widens as you walk throughout the apartment. It's shaped sort of like a piece of pie or pizza. Each floor connected to a central stem. Think of petals on a flower. When the buildings first opened, they were thought to be a city within a city, having their own ice skating rink, bowling alley, movie theater which has been converted into the House of Blues, grocery store, even that private marina. You've ever seen the films, The Blues Brothers, and Steve McQueen's last film, The Hunter? They were in my opinion. And if you look off into the left side of the boat, there's a passing Salesforce building. I believe this shot really shows that. Ladies and gentlemen, look down that main branch. Also, you notice in that building with the teal windows, has the opening towards the top of it. Keep that in the back of your mind for later on in the tour. And that train that's passing, that's our L train. L is short for elevated train. First introduced back in 1892 to pass our alleyways. Was expanded to Columbian's Exposition back in 1893. Once you're done taking your photo, you can join me off into our direct right. We've got another beautiful glass structure, River Point, opened 5 years ago in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, to give you an idea as to how narrow the base of the building is, it's about 40 feet wide. It's as wide as the boat that we're on here today. The building has something pretty unique at the top of it that we can't see. It's something known as a mass damper system. Essentially 4 tanks that contain about 160,000 gallons of water. It has helped with the swaying of the building when it wants to be blown by the wind. You see, the building is built like a tuning fork. So when it wants to be blown east by the wind, 160,000 gallons of water goes to the west end of the building, all computer automated. To our right, 100 North Riverside. The building's home to the Boeing headquarters, which is home to a Boeing store for all of your Boeing needs. It's a 36-story building built with a 13-story lower half. I want to draw your attention to the 5 vertical beams on the east side of the lower half here, ladies and gentlemen. Keeps it structurally supported. But after clearing the Washington Bridge, it's going to be one of the few times during this tour when I will ask for you to turn around. It's because we're going to notice the south and west side corners. They are not being supported by any beams. They're being supported by these white X braces that are suspending it in midair. Essentially, this is how those trusses are working, holding the south and west side corners in midair. To our right, we've got 2 North Riverside Plaza, completed by Halliburton Roof back in 1927. One of the first buildings erected over the rail system. It was used as a concert venue, and up into the year 1971, home to the Daily News printing press. It is now home to one of our Wendella water taxi stops, ladies and gentlemen. The next few buildings we're going to talk about, they're all completed by the same architecture firm. In the year 1860, there was a temporary structure known as the Wigwam. And in that Wigwam in 1860, we held the Republican National Convention. And at the time, an unknown candidate was nominated for president. Ladies and gentlemen, who was nominated for president in 1860. And if you're looking back at the Chicago Tribune, noticing a resemblance to the burning of Notre Dame, it's because they're both done in that neo-Gothic style of architecture. Noticing the flying buttresses at the top there. Completed back in 1924 by Raymond Hood and John Mead Howell, part of a contest to see who could build the most beautiful office building. Over 250 entries from many different countries. Italian white Carrara marble. Same marble Michelangelo used on his David. He clapped the building about a half-inch thick, which was too thin and did not survive a few of Chicago's harsh winters. The marble, it began to crack, and we feared that it began to fall on people's heads. So we went up there and replaced it with North Carolina granite. The project costed an estimated $80 million. Bean is correct. Who's visited the Bean? Who can tell me the actual name of the Bean? Cloud Gate is correct. Name of the sculptor is Anish Kapoor. How do we know that the Bean is the most visited tourist attraction in Chicago? Instagram. People love taking photos of the Bean. To our right, Lake Michigan, one of the 5 Great Lakes. Naming them, you got Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. You know I love doing trivia. Here's your last question. Can anyone name the largest freshwater lake?